Hi everybody, my name is David Angway and welcome to a brand new video wherein I'll be answering some of your entrepreneurial questions or career tips or anything that's very intriguing, okay? Especially in terms of transitioning from becoming an entrepreneur and you're from an employee for the last couple of months or years. So somebody asked me a question, how to identify myself if I am a true entrepreneur and not just an employee. So, what does it mean by that? Well, plenty of ways on how you can approach this. In the Filipino culture, we are conditioned to be an employee, but there are certain family wherein they go against the flow, which is at the end of the day they want their kids to be an entrepreneur, not just an employee. But I also believe that everybody starts within the boundaries of being an employed. All right. And to answer your question, how do you identify? There are certain behavioral competencies that you need to have in order for you to say that you are an entrepreneur. If you haven't tried to open up a certain business, then you cannot go ahead and simply say that you were not born to be an entrepreneur. In fact, you just shut down, okay, yourself from a lot of opportunities. You can be an employee right now with the mindset of an entrepreneur. So there are certain behavioral competencies that I think, okay, very very important, especially if you're currently in a crossroads right now. So number one, if you would like to know more about you being an entrepreneur, then you need to have this initiative. Okay, that's the number one trait because if you've seen some problems already and madalas ang Pinoy, okay, para hindi masabihan na bida-bida, what they normally doing is they just sit down, relax, and then that's it, and let someone take over. But if you are a true entrepreneur, you have the initiative. You cannot go ahead and sit down. You cannot go ahead and simply let this day pass without answering that particular problem. And that's why this initiative that you got right now, you have the desire to to solve this complexity is also important. Okay. Second, you can consider yourself as an entrepreneur if you have a very systematic planning. Okay. What do you mean by that? Well, if you are an entrepreneur, okay, and if you have this system mindset, of course, you do have a goal. All right, you do have a goal that you set in place within this year, but you cannot achieve that goal without this so-called process itself. That's why instead of you become goal driven, you also need to focus on the process itself because that will going to bridge the gap, right? Number 3, okay? Number 3 competency that you need to have in order for you to consider yourself as an entrepreneur is if you have this creativity or you love to innovate. What does it mean? Well, you don't need to reinvent the wheel, but you can copy and tweak the whole idea in a better way so that it can be more efficient. Instead of doing A, B, C, why don't we go ahead and simply remove the B and then go straight directly to C? That's exactly how you can innovate. You're tired of the normal approach, and that's why you would like to simply do some other stuff in order for it to become a faster process. It's not just going to be about the process itself of the fast. It can, from this very big chunk of metal, you'll go ahead and simply make it as a microchip. That's exactly innovation. That's creativity. Do you still remember the computers back then? The Univac. It's like a 150 square meter house, and that's what you call a computer. But right now, I'm using a MacBook, and the microchips there are very small. So that's exactly innovation. Uh, on my end, that you need to be creative. You need to create ways on how to make more money as well. Because if you have an idea is actually okay, but it's going to be useless if you cannot go ahead and turn that idea into a reality. Airbnb, all right? Creativity, it's innovation. Uber, Amazon Prime, Netflix. These are innovative ideas that come true because a certain entrepreneur took the initiative and create a plan. Next thing, you cannot consider yourself as an entrepreneur if you don't have this trait. You need to be a risk taker. Those people just sit there for the next 8 hours and felt like bored with their lives. They're sitting around in a cubicle and they don't want to take the risk of doing other stuff, and they're afraid to take the risk itself, okay, of creating something new, are not considered as an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs have this obsession, okay, in terms of jumping directly into a certain conclusion that if nobody is doing it, then I'll go ahead and do that. If nobody's willing to take that plunge right now into that business, then I'll go ahead and take over it, no matter how it may cost me. Another thing there is only you can see the vision. It's not gonna it's not being shown directly to your neighbor or to your friends or to your colleagues. Most of the entrepreneurs that I know are realistic optimists. They understand that they need to run their numbers, but they also see the potential of everything. Being an entrepreneur is not sexy. Being an employee as well is, you have the luxury of having a monotonous or predictable or structured life that you want. Okay. But again, entrepreneurs love risk management. And that's exactly how they gain. Before before so let me go and stop there. Next, problem solving. Problem solving means there's a problem, then they can create solutions out of it and then sell it directly to the masses. They always look for a way on how to address a particular challenges. Many people want to go directly to the moon, so we'll go ahead and create a um, create a company that can send people directly to the moon. For example, Virgin Galactic. Let's say, for example, you don't need to have that really big idea in order for you to say that you're an entrepreneur. You can go ahead and start as uh, probably you can go ahead and try to sell something. Okay, there's a lot of people out there, or probably within your community, that need garbage bag. You can go ahead and sell, especially if you're a kid. That's how Mark Cuban, the Dallas Mavericks owner and the billionaire, tech billionaire, started with that simple way. They would like to address those challenges and give value directly to the people. And that's why they also love their customers. Next, persistence. Okay. Persistence is very, very important. Why? Because you, as an entrepreneur, you need to sell the idea. an idea that's probably not existing, a concept that is intangible, a a solution that many people they've never seen it before, no track record, no history that it's gonna work. And that's why do you still remember Colonel Sanders made an effort to pitch his secret recipe to different investors, different people, and he got denied for 1,000 times. I still remember the guy from Starbucks, Howard Schultz, tried to apply for a loan for about 280 plus times and got denied. So the persistence itself must be in your DNA in order for you to make that dreams come true. Without any persistence, I don't think that there is a company that still that was actually born, because obviously not all people would buy in ASAP. That's why it's very important. Quality performance next. Why is that? Why is that very important? It's important because at the end of the day, what you're trying to sell right now to the mass, okay, to the masses or to a lot of people must have strong quality, because that also shows respect directly to your people or to the customers, to your loyal fans. And that's why you must need to understand that there must be a quality solution with with the problem that you're solving right now. Of course, persuasion and influencing abilities. If you're a seller, salesperson, an entrepreneur is a salesperson. I haven't seen an entrepreneur who's not a salesperson. I haven't seen any salesperson or a CEO who doesn't know how to sell themselves or to the company. You, as an entrepreneur right now, or you, if you would like to consider yourself as an entrepreneur, you have a very high in persuading a lot of people. Whatever you say, they will follow. That's exactly the law of influence. Whatever you say to them, hey, let's go ahead and move directly to this direction, they will follow you. And that's why Steve Jobs is one of the perfect example of an entrepreneur and turned to be a legend, because he wants us to think different. While other people are actually going this way, he's going directly to the opposite direction. And why is that? Because he recognized that the blue ocean strategy, why should I go ahead and compete directly to this area if I can become a dominant contributor in this particular side? And that's why persuasion is actually the key in order for you to understand whether you are a an entrepreneur or just a regular employee.